Hi, everyone. I'm Ashlyn Harris, and welcome to another episode of Wide Open. I just got back from a long trip in Utah with Red Bull, and it has been a long few days. I had an overnight flight from Vegas, and it was only a few hours. And lucky for me, my 40th birthday is tomorrow, so I haven't gotten much sleep. I don't imagine I'll get much sleep. But this is an exciting time. I can't wait to celebrate my birthday, and I'll definitely have to recharge next week. But as for now, I'm just focused on spending time with family. My friends have flown in, my brother has flown in, and this is going to be one of the best weekends. And I'm really looking forward to spending time with friends and family to celebrate the years of not really caring what other people think. So I look forward to my 40s. I just feel like in my 30s, you hustle. You just hustle, 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 and you try to figure out like who you are and how you want to show up, and you're working around the clock. And I think 40s, I just want peace and ease. Like that's what I'm searching for, is that type of just purely standing and feeling my body and knowing exactly who I am and showing up for my kids and just total ease. And I look forward to that. And also just like fucking not giving a shit. Not like just being so present and not worrying about the outside noise and focusing on the inner workings of my home and my family. I'm really looking forward to this new chapter. I look forward to my 50s, honestly. I hope I'm rich. Shit, I hope I'm making I'm trying to make all that kind of money. I want to be retired. I want to take vacations. I want to bring my kids. I hope they're in college or whatever they choose to do. I'm going to be there every weekend. We're going to be going to football games and basketball games and soccer games or whatever they're into. But I just like, I hope I'm successful, and I hope I have financial freedom to go enjoy. Like I've been working and grinding for so long in my life, and having to restart it after my soccer career at 37 is absolutely wild, and most people don't have to do. So I'm like hitting the ground, like running, like I'm working around the clock, and I hope in my 50s things slow down and I actually get to reap the benefits of it and enjoy life a little more. What I love so much about Katy O'Brian is her refusal to really be boxed in. She's lived so many lives, whether it's been an athlete, a police officer, an actor, an activist. And I just feel through like every chapter, she leads with such conviction and a deep sense of self. She's not looking to change herself for anyone. She's literally showing up, and she's got this big, beautiful personality and body, and she's really confident in it. And I think that stems from her childhood and her career in bodybuilding and martial arts. Like she knows in her core exactly who she is. And I find that so sexy and inspiring. And what a gift that she gets to give that representation to young people. So that's why I love this conversation so much. It's just a reminder that reinventing yourself isn't running from who you are. It's actually evolving closer to who you've always been. What's inspired me the most about her is when she talks about, showing up for roles and how she looks and how her body and how she moves in the world. It's just with such grace and power. Like you don't have to shrink yourself to fit the story. What I loved so much about her is you can rewrite it. And I feel that she's done that. And her story to me is very powerful because she can stand in the middle of her own reinvention, which with such grace and conviction. It's learning how to bet on ourselves again and again and again. And there's so much that inspires me through the way she sees the world. And I think all of our listeners are going to feel that in this episode. And let's get into it. Here's Katy O'Brian. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Wide Open with Ashlyn Harris. I'm so excited today to be sitting down with Katy O'Brian. Katy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Exciting.
Of course. Of course. I am such a huge fan. I'm obsessed with like my algorithm now giving me all of your content. So you
Ooh,
probably don't know this, but we're friends.
awesome.
And I get to actually creep and live my life through watching all of your content. I love your little like happy little life and happy little family. And more importantly, I just love that we're queer and we need
Yes.
more queer people like us showing up in the world who are very strong, powerful women. So
Yes.
thank you for being you.
Thank you. Thanks for being you. Have you ever had someone mess up your algorithm?
I don't think so.
You don't. Okay.
How do
So
you even do that? That's
I, because I've done a couple movies with Glenn Powell at this point, and some of my friends are very obsessed with him. And whenever he does like a men's health shoot or something, they'll send me all of that for some reason.
so now
And
you're
then,
getting. Mm-hmm.
and I've had to like show him before and be like, hey, look, if you ever happen to like creep over my shoulder and I open my Instagram and it's just you, it's not my doing. It wasn't my choice. But fortunately, it like quickly gets overridden by puppies and
That is
others.
so funny.
I know,
I
it's
mean,
scary.
he's really turned into quite the heartthrob.
I
I
know,
mean,
yeah.
go on. Like, we need more little sexy white boys running around with their shirts off. I mean, speaking of bodies, your body is absolutely insane. What the hell are
Thank
you
you.
doing? Tell me everything I need. Like, I'm a little embarrassed. I actually had a black coat on right here. And my team was like, you're like fading into the background. You have
Oh,
just a head. And I was like, okay, I'll take, like, this is really intimidating to take my shirt off. Well, I'm in a tank top, but you know what I mean, in front of you. I'm like,
that's
it's a little off,
hilarious.
it's a little off the nose. But what I need to know before we even dive into all the things like, what the hell do you do? Like, give me your tips and secrets.
I used to compete in bodybuilding, and so I've trained kind of a bodybuilding style um workout system, I guess, for over 10 years at least. Um, and what's crazy is I used to be much bigger. When I was originally competing, I was much bigger. And then I randomly lost like 15 pounds in a very short period of time and was like super concerned, didn't know what was going on. And I found out I had Crohn's disease. So now it's like,
Wow.
yeah, now it's like my nutrition really is what has to be on point for me to sustain and even try to build muscle. But I used to walk around like 170 pounds and now I can't break.
Damn.
Yeah, now I can't break 155. It's like difficult for me to get above that.
And
Um,
what are your workouts to build that much bulk? Like I like is it really just what you eat or is it the type of like weight you're moving clearly?
it's both, and you do have to fuel for that. And I used to train clients, and a lot of the concerns, especially for women, was like, I don't want to get too bulky, and I'm like, well, then don't eat like you're going to get bulky. You have to eat a decent amount of protein. It's like the huge thing. And I supplement with branched chain amino acids, and that's pretty much it. I just started doing creatine because I like.
Me too.
Yeah. People are researching the hell out of creatine.
Hell out of it. Well,
Yeah.
I heard also as we get older, like we're old, but I mean, I am next week turning 40, so
I'm getting there. I'm close.
I know you're a few years behind. But like everyone's like, get on creatine. It's gonna help you so much. And you know, I was a professional player forever. And every time they were like, okay, we're building up, into a big tournament, we're all gonna be, on our shit, and we're gonna hit the creatine. And I'm like, uh, I think I'm gonna get fat on that. I don't think I want that. Like I don't like I heard you hold like a lot of water weight and this and that, and I barely touched it. And
Mhm.
now I'm like every day I'm like, I can't get enough of it. I've been on it like consistently probably for the last 3 or 4 months.
Mhm.
I have noticed such a change in my body. And it's the only thing that I've changed besides my protein intake. But like the creatine has really been popping off. So all of you
Mhm.
people out there, and I got my brother on it.
Nice.
I now, my partner Sophia is on it. We're just like, we're rocking the creatine.
Yeah,
So
and it's I think a lot of people also are discouraged because if you get a wrong brand or something, it can cause digestive distress, which I totally I'm
mm,
not trying to do that either. But it's really, you have to do a lot of research because there's no FDA regulations for supplements. People don't realize that. Like
Mm-mm.
they could just be whatever it is in there. Um, and so it's, you want things that are third party tested. You want things that,
Yeah,
I will call the companies and be like, what do you put in this? And if they don't know, then I don't take it.
that's smart.
Yeah, but I actually started taking it more for the water retention because I
Yeah,
was traveling so much and I was cramping up so much, and I was like, let me just experiment with this, um, and I feel a difference even
yeah,
from that.
same.
Yeah, but it also has cognitive benefits, which is crazy.
Exactly. That's also what I just had COVID, not too long ago, and I tell you what, my brain fog and my like ability to not think and for it to just shut off, I'm like I'm consuming it like literally like a beast right now.
Nice.
What
Nice.
I want to start from the beginning with you because you have such an incredible story and there's so much juice to all of it. You started, like, at a very young age with martial arts, correct? And
Yeah.
what was, like, because there's when you talk about martial arts, there's, like, so many different kind of genres in that. What was your main focus, or you kind of did it all?
I started just with karate. I was getting picked on in kindergarten by like a bunch of much older boys, because I apparently I dumped their younger brother. I don't, it's kindergarten. I didn't even know I had a boyfriend. Um, and so they started picking on me like every day. And my dad, he's been in construction in his whole career. He's worked really, really hard, and his way to bond with us was through sport.
Mm.
So I kind of was like, finally told him I was getting picked on, and he just signed us up for karate, and that was our family activity. So at like 5 years old, I started karate, and once I got to university, at Indiana University, we had a program, where it's like you get school credit. You can even major in martial arts if you want to, but you get school
Oh,
credit
wow.
for training martial arts. So it's actually one of the best martial arts programs, collegiate programs in the nation. And I got into, just clicked Hapkido self defense, and then wound up getting my black belt in Hapkido there, and then training a bunch of different
Wow.
other styles. And when I came out to Los Angeles, I just happened to, a friend of mine is the head of martial arts at UCLA, so he hired me to teach Hapkido there. And um, once your students start asking more questions, like, well, what do we do if we're on the ground? Or, how can I make my kicks harder? Whatever, you realize you have to continue training and get your knowledge higher. So I started training jujitsu and Muay Thai on top of that, and some
Wow.
Filipino martial arts, stick knife fighting stuff. And it's all just been really fun. And again, talking about cognitive benefits, they're studying the cognitive benefits of various martial arts there too. And it's just, it's cool.
Well, the coordination, the discipline, the ability, the flow, like, when I watch it, it's so gorgeous in a
Mhm.
way. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's such an art, and it's so demanding, and it's so technical and tactical. It's you don't have the freedom, like, in when you're really competing to make really bad tactical errors because it's costly. And very few sports, which people don't realize, like, in soccer, there's a bunch of us out there. We can all make mistakes. It has to go through all a bunch of people. Like, you don't point fingers. But in that, it's really costly to not know what you're doing. Did you ever want to do it competitively?
Yeah, I did. I did. I actually competed as a little kid, and I did really well. But as I got older, like there's not really a competition for Hapkido. And
Mm.
then when I started training jujitsu, I thought, ooh, this would be really fun to compete. But I was also acting at the time. And
Ah.
my buddy, who was kind of my mentor, was like, is it worth you being laid out by an injury for potentially several months?
Oh, hell yeah.
Um, because especially with jujitsu, well, and Muay Thai, honestly, your risk of injury is pretty high.
Listen, I saw Ronda Rousey do something and arm bar someone, and it looked like their arm was snapped behind. And I said, you know what? It's not for me.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
whatever that is, I'm staying far away from it. I will gladly watch from the stands.
Yeah.
But
I've
but
accidentally
this,
done that.
yep. But like bending my first off, I've had 2 ACL tears, 4 knee.
Oof.
No one's bending my knee like that or my elbow because it's never coming back.
Yeah. And
I mean,
that's an injury that just keeps coming, right? That the ACL tear is like no joke.
Oh, it's so brutal, and it
Yeah.
never is the same. Do you think though that what you've gained and the knowledge you've gained in terms of physically and mentally, like the discipline, have you really been able to carry that into what you do now and your life? I mean, you were a fucking police officer at one point. I'm like, dude, you have literally checked so many boxes, and I feel like, I don't know you, but what I can witness and absorbing like your story is you have just constantly been like, fuck it, if I don't do this I won't know. And
Yeah.
you've really tackled it like at its core head on, fucking grab the bull by its horns, and you're like, let's ride. And I respect that about you. Do you want to talk about the risk or talk about taking a chance and betting on yourself and really diving into these different avenues of becoming a police officer and then doing that for 7 years and then saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to Hollywood." Like, what?
Yeah. I never in my life thought I would be a police officer. I did I watched Silence of the Lambs as a kid and I was like, ooh, Jodie Foster. I
As
want
a
to.
kid?
Yeah, I know. I snuck some shows in I shouldn't have seen.
That
Um
scared the shit out of me.
I know. I was always so fascinated with people and psychology.
Yeah.
And so I thought, first of all, I thought that was a real job, and it turns out it's not like really that real of a job. But I went to school for psychology, and I wanted to I've always felt kind of like weird and
Mm.
socially awkward and whatever, and I just kind of wanted to understand people more. Um,
Mm.
and I also was really just blown away by why people do terrible things like serial killer or mobsters or whatever. Um, and as I started to learn more and more, I was like, oh, we're all just figuring ourselves out. We're all just figuring it out. And sometimes the reaction to dealing with life is something that, is maybe morally reprehensible.
Yeah.
But I just kind of fell into law enforcement because my school had a program that they kind of advertised as like, you get free room and board, and I wasn't making money, and you get to go to the games for free, and you get to do all these things. I met the Dalai Lama through that program.
Wow.
I escorted one of the princesses of Thailand around, which seemed wildly irresponsible.
Hot.
It was
Hot.
like, how am I literally have a picture with her, and I'm wearing 2 like Jigglypuff Pokemon necklace. I'm like, this is crazy.
Classic.
But it always came down to, it was like, this kind of scares me, and I think I need to do it. And if I think it will make me better, like there are a lot of things that I think scare me that I don't think will make me better. So I continue with this program and was kind of having a little bit of a crisis post graduation of what I wanted to do with my life. And since I already had law enforcement credentials, I just found a city to work for, wound up working in their crisis intervention team, and
Wow.
just kind of working with mental health crisis, and we do like dementia, autism. We're like specially trained in all that. So it was kind of a function of psychology that I felt I was really, I guess, adept at doing. But at one point I was just like, man, I like athletics has always been something that has given me a peace of mind and like helped me clear my mind. And I kind of felt like I was just stagnant in a weird way. So I finally was like, I'm going to set a goal for myself, and I just want to get really strong. And I went to a gym and instead of suggesting powerlifting, they suggested bodybuilding, and I was like, screw it, let's do it. Um,
Wow.
and I just kind of like fell in love with like I could see it. I could see my muscles growing like fairly quickly. I mean, you can put on like half a pound to a pound of muscle a month. You see it pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you learn how you can manipulate your nutrition and lean out and get bigger, it was just like a really cool experiment on the body, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I also wanted to act. So that was like always a passion as a kid. I was in marching band. I was always into arts.
I love
And
this.
yeah, so I was like, I need to get back into art. And I found an on-screen acting class, and then I really was like, this is what I have to do for my body to breathe. Like I just felt like I wasn't breathing
Mm,
when I was working in law enforcement. And uh I just kind of thought if I don't do this, I don't know what my future will be. So I just did the crazy move to Los Angeles, and
I love that. Well,
yeah.
people always ask when you make that leap of faith and you kind of bet on yourself, everyone's always like, what's the scariest part? I want to ask you what was the best part of reinventing yourself over and over and like checking all these boxes and proving, most importantly, and what I teach my daughter is like proving to yourself what you can do and accomplish and the things you can push your body and mind to. Like, what was the best part of that? Because I think more women need to hear that and more people need to hear that because we are in such a fear-based culture right now that it kind of jades our growth a little bit and it keeps us in line and it keeps us not taking those opportunities. So I want the listeners to know if you could articulate what was the best fucking part about betting on yourself and going for it.
I felt free for the first time in my life. I was doing what
Oh,
I wanted to do and what felt right for me. And so that was what was Janis Joplin. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, right? Like
mm,
I just felt like all I had was myself and this passion, and it really just it fueled the fire. And it was like I was so broke when I first moved to LA, and I mean immediately like all these expenses coming from Indiana that I like
oh
what?
God, yeah.
Like car insurance is 4 times as much. People just were
Gas.
crashing into my car. Gas,
Yeah.
yeah, gas went from $2 to $8. You're like, whoa.
Mhm.
And even the cost of like rent, groceries is 10% sales tax out here. I was not prepared for how broke I would be, and I even considered like, maybe I don't pay rent anymore and I just sleep in this car that I'm paying so much money for. But I felt
Right.
like I was okay with that, weirdly at the time. Um, and now, priorities change. I have like family and wife that I have to take care of and stuff. So
Yeah.
like, uh, uh, I have to have a little bit more stability, but it just felt like I was on a new adventure, and it was just
Mm.
maybe the most excited I've ever been. So when I think about going back and doing something else now, it fills me with just such dread, and yeah, I couldn't do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your wife, you, you have really become such a queer icon. And I don't say that lightly. And like a lot of people like hear that probably are like, I don't know about that, but you really have. And you're on Out 100, you're paving the way for like serious queer representation and doing it your way, which I like really love because when I was younger, I didn't see people like us in movies or in magazines
Mm-mm.
or even in sports. And for a really long time, like I thought I was a boy because I wanted to be a professional athlete and I only saw men doing it. And like what does it feel like now being such a pivotal part of queer representation in media and movies and like does it excite you? Do you feel like that type of weight is like not what you've asked for, or you're like, yeah, I'm going to keep pushing and asking the questions to demand more and more and more and more because these young kids, not even young, all of us deserve it.
Yeah, I don't feel like a weight on myself. And because I also feel like I have a great community around here, or not just around here, but within the entertainment business. Um, and we're all pushing for changes and improvement. I mean, it's one of those things when I meet with producers or other actors, and I'm like, why do we not have a women's action role comparatively to like something that Jackie Chan would do back in the day? You know, there's no like women that are fighting for their community. There's no women that are fighting just with their hands. It's always with a gun, or it's always in a fantasy world or sci-fi or something like that. So why, I'm as big as Jackie Chan. Why, like, why can't we do this? And it's so funny that there's not even a narrative out there for it. Like, they don't even know how to write a script to do this. And it's just wild to me. So it's something that you see the things that are missing, and you just try to fill that. But then it's also, how are we going to get this financed? There's a very big homophobic market that doesn't want to see that. There's a very big, people hate women. It's just like more than it seems like they had 10 years ago. So it's fighting those battles.
And you did, in Love Lives and Bleeding, you did get to portray, this queer character with Kristen Stewart. By the way, fucking great movie. Like,
so fun.
Oh my
So fun.
God. Because it's so, every time you watch a queer character, it's like the same shit over and over for me.
Yeah.
It's like this coming out story, or it's this like whole, it's just not real, and it's not raw, and it's always like, I just really, really love the weirdness of the movie. And I don't know, I don't know you, but I felt like I saw you in it.
Mhm.
Like, really you. And I don't think most people get to have the ability to play a character like that is so true to who they are, to how they move in the world. Like, even the scene when your fucking body, like, it's just beautiful in front of all of, like, what was that like to portray a queer character on screen with Kristen Stewart? Come on. Like, what was that like? What was that like?
It was kind of wild. It was an open casting call. They couldn't find this bodybuilder character, right?
Stop.
And
I did not know
yeah,
that.
yeah, someone posted something on Twitter, which I will never call X.
Yeah.
And they were like, they're looking for this person, and someone tagged me in it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's me. They were looking for a queer bodybuilder to star alongside Kristen Stewart in this movie. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And I was really curious as to why I didn't even get an audition, because I've like, that casting office knows me, that my agents would, I'm like, why would you not? This is me. And then when I got just my audition sides, which I finally got an audition, I put a whole PowerPoint together. I was like, here's me with long hair if you need it. Like, here's me with, my bodybuilding pictures and all that, whatever. So I got the audition. I'm reading just what the words and everything. It was so well written, which I get so many scripts, and I'm like, how did this get funded? I'm like, how? But this was something it was just so beautiful. And I think it helped that Rose Glass is queer, and so she's got a understanding of women and this lifestyle, I guess. But not bodybuilding, but like two women loving each other, I guess. And yeah, it was just everything that I learned about this character made me want to be her more and more, play her more and more, because I felt so many little connections. And then I just walked into a callback. I walked into the room like I already had the part, because I was like, this is just me. And then, and then I had like 6 more auditions where I was like, to the point where the last one I was like, shooting starts in 2 weeks. If it's not me, you need to find someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to come in anymore because I'm not going to do it any differently. So you can
Yeah.
watch all the old things that I get really stubborn about things. So I was like, I have fought for this, but if it's not working for you, I don't want to be the wrong person for this part. I don't think I
Yeah.
am, but I
Yeah.
don't want to be. And I finally got the part. And then it was fun. It was like the third audition was the chemistry read with Kristin.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I just kind of walked outside and she's just sitting in the room. And I'm like, would it bother you if I talked to you for a bit before? And she's like, no. So we just sat down and chatted before we even went in. And she was just super chill. And yeah, it just kind of was like, I think that wasn't the energy that I expect from like such a big
Yeah.
A-list icon, whatever. To
Yeah.
just so like what just laid back. So that made me more excited. And then
Mm-hmm.
as we started going, we were both just kind of like we were both very passionate about this project. And yeah, it's like being gay is not even kind of the conflict in it. It's like very rare that you see that. And we're kind of not um we're not role models, and
Yeah.
we loved just how raw and gritty
Mm-hmm.
and just insane the script was. So that fueled our fire for it. And I think it was a really fun collaboration, and I hope she feels the same.
Well, I would assume so because I like it is so chemistry is so important, and I can't imagine just being thrown into that and being like, "Here, shoot your shot." But like that's what makes you so special, and that's what makes actors so special is their ability to show up and fucking nail it right there. And like you have such a cool chill personality and you're a queer person. Like I love hearing that she was just fucking normal. I love hearing just these people who are so iconic in our community or whether it's music or acting, like they're just cool fucking people and they realize very quickly they're not curing cancer, that they're here to bring life into people and move them in a certain particular way and they don't take themselves too seriously. You don't always get that in Hollywood,
I
as you know,
know, I know. I
unfortunately.
It's one of those things where, yeah, at the end of the day, when you read a play, it's called a play, right? You
Mhm.
are supposed to have fun. Movie making, filmmaking, it should be fun, and it should be a way for people to escape from reality when they watch it. It's not, yeah, like you said, we're not curing cancer, we're not um, rescuing people from burning buildings or anything, but
Mm-mm.
um, the hope is to entertain and to bring joy to someone and to help someone feel seen too
Yeah.
is so important. Um, and yeah, I find joy in that, and I hope other people do. I grew up, in the Midwest. It's so boring sometimes. So I've watched a lot of movies, and oftentimes when I would see something like or like Xena on TV or GI Jane or some of these like really strong women, I was like, oh, I want to be that. That's so cool. It just inspired me.
I was saying this to one of my friends who's in the mu in the industry, and, like, the way you've carved out, like, some of the biggest fucking blockbuster hits is such a credit to who you are and how you show up. It's clear that people want to work with you, which is different. It's, like, the same as a team as you are on a set. Like, how you move in that chemistry and how you move in that space affects the whole.
Yeah.
And, like, I never have heard anything but really fantastic and great things about you. So I think it's a real credit to who you are, how you show up, and how you choose to show up and stay humble in an industry that's often not the easiest. So I'm curious what you feel like. Your wife is a writer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Which is that's I need you guys to make something together.
I know. I know.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can imagine those dinner talks. Like, what do you both feel right now that is really missing, from movies and storylines and queer representation or underrepresented communities?
I think that what we're really still uh, finding difficulty with is seeing someone like me as a lead without, a wig or something,
Mm.
uh, in a blockbuster. I think that that's still a very hard sell because something specifically like a blockbuster is going to go for like an international market. And I don't know if you just saw, like there was a movie that in China they changed the gender of a queer couple, right? They changed one of the people to a different gender so that they would be a straight couple through AI, uh,
No.
to show it to their audiences, and that is a huge market, by the way. So and then it was a neon movie, and they pushed back, fortunately, which was really cool. But yeah, they did that, and in Ant-Man, it was like a big thing that I think it was like Qatar didn't want a pride flag in a bookstore, like something that small. They just didn't want it in the movie. So there are all these little things that you're still fighting for, and it's almost maybe nearly impossible for someone still like me to be a lead in a blockbuster. So that's something that we're trying to gradually change. I don't know if we ever will, but if I don't, someone will, I'm sure. But it's just a uh, tell of the times, I guess. And I will say the reason I am able to get where I am right now is because of all the people before me that paved the way. So
Mm.
by the time I made it to Los Angeles, they were looking for androgynous women. They were
Mm.
looking for um, this term that everyone hates now, ethnically ambiguous, and I'm biracial. So I
Mm.
was like, yay, I checked these two boxes.
Hmm.
And then all of these shows, Marvel's, Walking Dead, DC Comics, all this stuff that was becoming really popular, um, they loved having, a martial arts background or a police background. So all of those things just kind of like came together at just the right place, right time.
Mm.
And I was very fortunate because if I had shown up in Hollywood 10 years earlier, it wouldn't be the same. I'm sure I would have to probably still have my long hair and maybe like pretend to be straight or something. But I just don't think that was ever going to work out. I think my wife laughs because she's like, you walk like a lesbian. Like I just can't. I don't know that I can that I can
I I
quite hide
I
it.
I I get it. Like I
Yeah.
get it through and through. But I will say this. Do you think, because my partner is an actor and who's been raised in this scene for a long time, and like she's such a gentle soul in that space. I'm always like, how has it not broke you in a lot of ways? Because it's a really, really tough industry and it's a very competitive industry. And I'm
Hmm.
curious because as a queer woman, as someone who's been so in touch with their body, who knows themselves through and through, has it made it easier for you to navigate and move in this new dynamic of your job, of what you're doing as an actor, because of the life you've lived and the discipline you've had in sport to really like know yourself? Because I imagine that's your superpower, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I'm really good at. I don't think you can make change in any way or make progress unless you're very honest with yourself about who you are.
Mm.
And you can make changes. Like that's definitely possible. But um, no, I do think that's so important. And then that helps me not question. Um, like I'm always going to question, am I being as kind as possible to someone, or am I being as fair in this situation? And I surround myself with people that will be honest to me about that. And my wife is definitely one of those people where she will remind me certain things. So I think that knowing yourself is really important. And actually, it's like those three Delphic maxims on the Temple of Delphi is like know thyself, nothing in
Mm.
excess, and there's like one other, but I really do those two for sure. I'm not into extremism. I like to, and that's why I kind of tapered away from bodybuilding competitions. And uh, I'm not really. Uh, I don't want to second guess myself, but I do want to make sure that I'm staying grounded and I understand and I'm staying focused. And then kind of like you pinpointed earlier, this whole industry and being on set is a team industry, and you have to want to service the team as best as you can. And
Correct.
let's say that, someone comes into that team and they're just a better forward than you are, and you're like, shit, I got it. Like, they're so good. I'm not gonna sit there and say, well, I was always that person. Like, they can't come in. Um, I'm gonna want to service the team. So I just lost. There's I don't know if you know Kaylee Reese. She's a boxer. She's like a badass, and we're
Yeah.
constantly going for each other's parts. And she just got something that I was maybe up for potentially, possibly. But but when I think about it, I'm like, that makes sense, and I think that's going to better service the story for what they're looking for. It just makes sense, and also having met her and knowing how cool she is and like how much how serious she is about this and focused and everything. I just want to cheer her on. So there's also that aspect of,
it's cool.
yeah, you can't, like, if someone else gets a part, you just have to celebrate them, because it's a win for everybody at that point. And I also I think martial arts is you're constantly failing. You're constantly getting beat up. You're constantly being thrown to the ground, and it's the resilience of learning how to stand up. And it's like, okay, what did I do wrong that time, or what did I do right that last time? How do I adjust my, like you said earlier, technique, my mindset, something like that, to go in with a better focus the next round. So I think that that level of athleticism, bodybuilding too. I'm not a pro bodybuilder. I don't know that I have.
Well, you could have fooled all of us. So
yeah, I don't know that I have what it takes to be a pro bodybuilder, honestly. Like, I've gotten as lean as I feel comfortable getting, and with how competitions are judged these days. Like, my first contest, it was like, I got docked points because my suit wasn't like cute enough, and it was a little too big. And I'm like, I worked so hard to get here, and it's my outfit that is being judged right now.
It's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. It's a crazy world. So then you just kind of have to it's not in your control. You can only do so much, and the judges are going to judge how they want to judge. And then when you go into an audition, the outcome is not in your control. You can just give the best performance. I love auditioning because I get to practice what I love doing. And so that's what I do. And sometimes I don't even look at, I see what they want for the breakdown of the character, but I read the sides and I'm like, that's not what I feel this character is. And I'll do what I want. And oftentimes that doesn't work out, and sometimes it does. And I just think
again, betting on yourself, going with your gut. That is like such a key takeaway, because in your industry, usually it's body shaming. You have to look a certain way. You need to be tall. You need to be thin. You need to be this. You're not enough this. You're not enough that. And you just show up and you're like, actually, I'm just going to be fucking me. And either you roll with it or you don't. And I think a lot of people need to sit and hear that, because we bend ourselves so fucking much for other people. It gets to a point where we don't even recognize the person we're looking at in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I think you're a really true testament of just doing you. And I think people are envious of that, and they want to be like that, but they don't want to feel the shame of being exactly who they are. It's easier to be someone else.
Yeah. And no, social media is it just elevates that. I feel like it makes it even worse. And because your entire life could be on display for a robot, and then you're sitting there having a robot make you feel bad, or someone that you literally will never meet in your entire life, and you're letting them make you feel bad. It's so bizarre to me. I was watching this documentary about Phil Heath, who is one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. And he's also one of the first bodybuilders. He's like Mr. Olympia, I don't know, 8 times or something. Wow. In a row, and he's one of the first ones to have to deal with social media.
Mm.
as Instagram was coming out. And the way that people would have the audacity to get online and talk about this man's body, um, knowing that he's the best in the world at what he does, and they're trying to trash talk him, and like it's funny to me, and it to me is symptomatic of them not feeling happy with themselves, because why else would you do this? Why else would you want to tear someone down? Uh, it's just wild to me, but it had an impact on him, and
Mm.
that's something that also I had to check.
Yeah.
It's like, because it does, it is hurtful sometimes when you see how much negativity and hostility there is in the world.
Oh
But
God, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I, the best you can do is continue to show up, and I think be yourself, and not let that bring you down, because then what?
Mm.
Then they win. It's not.
Yeah. I think that's also the best part of this new phase of life. Like I'm about to turn 40 and I'm really in the phase of my peace is my peace.
Yeah.
Even if the world outside is on fire, in this house it's peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I hold on to that. And with that, I know, I mean, I could say what's next for you, but I know Running Man is what's next for you work wise. But like personally, by the way, everyone, a new movie, of course, Katie's in Running Man that's coming out in November, and I'm really with Glenn Powell, and I can't wait to watch it. So everyone go check that out. But what is next for you? Like for you personally, for you and your wife, for the peace in your home outside of what you do, like what is next?
Well, I have 4 movies coming out. I do have to pick. I have to
Oh
like
my,
promo. In the next 2 months, I have a rom-com, Maintenance Required, that comes out next week. So it's October 8th, I think. Uh, I have Queens of the Dead gets a theatrical release. It's this queer zombie movie that George Romero's daughter put together.
stop.
Yeah. She
Oh,
she wanted to honor her father's legacy, but also in her own way. And so it was like the whole queer community of New York came out and put this like budget of glitter and shoelace together to
wow.
to make something very fun and campy and so cool. So that'll be out October 24th in theaters. And then Christy, which is the story of Christy Martin, who is a woman boxer. She's absolutely incredible. That comes out, I want to say November 7th, and then Running Man comes out November 14th. So it's absolutely like,
Wow.
it's going to be a weird couple months, but, and I'm sorry to my friends.
So you're gonna so pretty much Katie saying,
Yeah,
bye-bye. I'm sorry I won't be
yeah,
around. I'm working,
not
but
for a couple months, but,
come support me. Watch all my
yeah.
movies.
But we really, we are like I said, we're trying to create some of our own things now and produce some of our own projects that we feel either fill a hole or just something that we're passionate about and want to do. So
Yeah.
oftentimes, if I get a script that I think is really amazing, I'll have Kylie, my wife, like kind of script doctor it a little bit to make it
Mm,
a little bit better, or fill in some of the gaps that it's missing for like I think a smoother narrative.
mm.
So we've kind of been doing that and trying to produce some things. And then on the deeper level, we are in the process of, we're doing our like family planning. We're deep in the process of
I
family
love
planning.
that. I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
we,
And it's not always that easy. So
no,
yes, like it's
no,
like the process for fertility to have a family and like it is people don't talk about it enough. So I wish you both like the best because
thank you.
it's definitely a tough but beautiful journey.
Yeah, we're very excited and we're fortunate. I mean, hopefully we don't scare them off. I don't know, but we've got an amazing donor who
Oh,
we've known
I love
for
that.
a long time, and just seems to be really game to like just help us create a family, which is just so beautiful. And we're like, what can we give you in return? But yeah, so we have that set up, which is awesome, and just going through the process of like, we have a house. We're trying to make it a little more
Yeah.
uh,
Baby
kid
proof?
friendly. Yeah, baby proof,
Yes.
kid friendly. And then our dog is insane, so we're also trying to desensitize her to kids. Because the last thing you want is like she doesn't like bite or attack anyone. I'm knock on wood. But she's like a herder. So she
Oh
barks when
gosh.
she does that. So she terrifies people. And she'll like nudge kids, like if they're not in the pack, she'll like nudge them
Oh, I
back.
wonder where
And
she gets that from.
I don't do that.
Kidding.
That's her mom. We fostered the whole litter, and I saw how her mom behaved. And
Oh, there we go.
yeah,
There we
but
go. Well,
yeah,
it sounds like you're very busy, which is
yeah,
also it's a good thing. And
yeah.
I wish you and your wife the absolute best. And I look forward to continue watching your career. And thank you so much for coming on here, being vulnerable, being honest, and being such a trailblazer in the queer community and representing us so beautifully and staying true to yourself in the process, which is really important. And I'm glad I get to watch from a very, very far lens, but feel like it feels really nice to see someone like yourself on TV. And I'm hopeful for this younger generation because I know you and I didn't have it. And you know,
Yeah,
how cool is it to say that you're able to give that to a lot of young kids who need it right now. And I personally want to say thank you because it's really life-saving. It really is. So
thank
I,
you.
I appreciate your work, Katy, and thank you so much for coming on Wide Open. And if you could leave our listeners and those who are watching with one thing, what would you leave them with?
It's always weird, like to be on a podcast like this, and then you say all those nice things, and then I have to be like, ugh. Because I watched y'all win the World Cup. Like I got to see those moments, and like when women's soccer was like reinstated, I was like almost a teenager or something, right? Like
Yeah.
when we won against China, what
Yeah.
was it, 99?
Hmm.
So all of that matters. Like the first thing that I did when I found out I had Crohn's disease was look up athletes with Crohn's disease because
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted to know if I could still perform how I used to perform. So you being out there and doing what you do and then doing things like this is iconic, and I also very much appreciate that. So
Thank
I
you.
I don't want to sit here and take all that. But I think, I don't know, the theme over here has been be yourself, do your best.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
just try to take a step out the door, like
Yeah.
touch grass. Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
are. I
There you
love
go.
that. Well, I appreciate you being on, Katy. Good luck with all of these new movies and shows coming out. So deserving, and hopefully, we get a little bit of a double date going on here pretty soon
Sweet. Let's
when
do
we're
it.
back in LA.
I'm
We're
ready.
we're based in New York at the moment, but we're always in
Oh,
LA.
I'm going to be spending a bit of time in New York the next couple of weeks. So,
Okay, well,
yeah.
let us know. We would
Yeah.
gladly support you. And hi to your wife. And until next time.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so
All
much.
right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Wide Open. I'll see you next week.